Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. It is DLC day, so we have Unika for Guilty Gear Strive. And for Unika, now that she's out, she's been highly anticipated, and there's been some extenuating circumstances around her release, let's put it that way. Maybe there was a bit more of a sneak peek that should have been out there than you might have thought. And Arxis very delicate about the matter and maybe punching some people in the face who are just trying to report the news. Although all's well that ends well, we got the copyright strike removed after we talked to him, so okay, that's figured out. But yeah, so now Unika's out for real, and I figured let's talk about her. It's day one, and we got some fun things, not the least of which, we got 2 stages. And, you know, Guilty Gear stages are fairly in-depth because, you know, there's multiple stage transitions, a lot of things going on. So we got 2 stages, and that's really, really cool. So before we even get to anything else, you might notice there's some scary things on the screen here. What is this? This is frame data. Yes, I know, frame data, right? So frame data after 400,000 years or however long it's been since Strive came out is now finally in the game. A bit late in the game, perhaps, but I guess we'll say better late than never. So yes, you now have proper frame data. It's a little basic, I guess, but better than the literally nothing we've had for years and years and years. So thumbs up for Arxis for finally getting there. So now let's talk Unika herself, right? So Unika is very interesting. I won't call her a stance character because that's definitely not the word for it. But she's a modular character, so she has a lot of moves that will change depending on what preceded the move, right? And pretty much always for the better. Also, at this point, I guess we had to talk a little bit about anime spoilers, but at this point, if you don't know, then it's too late, right? So she's basically Trunks in that she's from the future. She is the daughter of Kai and Dizzy, and as such, has some traits of both, especially when it comes to special moves, because she's got Stun Dipper and she has Greed Sever from Kai specifically. And this is like a proper Greed Sever, not that Foudra arc nonsense. So this is actually an overhead as well, so that's nice. And from the Dizzy side, well, let's just say we can get pretty cinematic here, right? Has Dizzy's tail, by the way, and has 100% tension super that can do a lot of friggin' damage. Yeah, so, well, anyways, we're getting cart ahead of the horse here. Let's just talk about the gameplay. So, when it comes to, like, the basics, she's kind of basic in that there's, like, no special movement options or anything. Her normals are pretty proficient, but the thing is, for her normal slash and heavy slash, both have can follow-ups, right? So, slash, you hit slash again, you might notice here, we got kind of like a lightning arc follow-up, right? And each follow-up has a crouching and standing version. So, the crouching version of slash is this giant gunshot, and you can like do stand slash into gunshot or crouch slash into the lightning, like whatever you want to do. Like you can mix and match, right? Heavy slash much the same way. So heavy slash, the secondary follow-up is just a straight up projectile, right? And the second part is a bit of a mini launcher. But the fun thing about these moves here, so these secondary moves, no matter like which version you're getting with, the secondary move counts as like priming the pump. So let's take cortical forward, heavy slash. This is a big beam super, and it's a hell of a beam, by the way. So slower startup, but like beam, it's basically instantaneous, right? Good damage, does knock down on regular hit as well, and it beats everything. So let's take a humble stun edge, right? So normally projectiles, like basic projectiles, they'll clash. Here, nah. This is a beam, and it just deletes everything across its path. Just doesn't clash, doesn't anything, doesn't interact. It just wins. Now, you're probably thinking, well, okay, what about Charge Stun Edge? The big boy, right? You know, the big multi-hitting, annoying move, right? Well, funny story about that is no, it is not happening. Like, she just wins. How much does she just win? How about Gold Lewis level 3 Thunderbird, right? The thing that, like, destroys a lot of projectiles along the way so it can control the screen. Once again... Okay, here we go. It's on screen. It just wins. It just wins. So, like, you are kind of always winning, like, range or zoning battles. So, that's a pretty interesting and decent trait. But anyway, so now the move, which I already talked up how good it is, right? So, if you can charge it up, and there's multiple ways to do it, then all of a sudden, you might notice here the beam is blue. and it also does substantially more damage. And this charge mechanic can be done multiple ways. So if you're on the ground, you can hit forward heavy slash and it'll just like charge by itself, right? And every special move but one has a charge version. And basically, if you do the regular version, it's red. If you do the charge version, it's blue. That's kind of how it works, right? So like, well, it's not Greed Sever. I'm calling it Greed Sever. So Greed Sever, that's blue, but if you do the regular version, it's red, right? So the blue version is basically always better. So once again, this beam. So let's take a look at it, right? So the regular beam does a little bit about chip damage. The blue beam does a lot of chip damage. And let's say we do it point blank. Probably not where you'd want to do it, right? But point blank, -5, which honestly, that's better than it could be, all things told, right? But how about this? The charge version point blank? Oh, it's +12 on block. What? +12 on block is a pretty good amount of plus to be. I think you would agree. So now we got to work with that, right? And so forward heavy slash gives us a charge, but the second hit in both of these strings, the heavy slashes, either the standing or the crouching version, also gives us that charge mechanic. So now all of a sudden I just go for that, and now my regular block string is just turbo plus on block. And also specifically that specific string, so I can go like bar slash, crouch slash, which is another projectile, right? Like I can do this from pretty far away, all things told. So that's not bad at all, really. Like how about Stun Dipper? So Stun Dipper, first it's a true low, and Greed Sever is a true overhead right there. So you have a 50-50 out of the gate. But yeah, so you do it up close, it's a little negative. It's -17, right? But if you do the charge version, oh, it's -3. Like, it's not ideal, I guess, but it's outside of throw range. So there's no effective real consequence to it, right? And obviously, you know, from the further out you get it from, like, the better and better it makes it. So that's nice. When it comes to Greed Sever, right? So regular is -8. The charge version is -6. So that's not as ideal, but it changes properties as well. So by itself, say if you do the regular, right, it just splats. So if you splat RC, nothing, not happening. Charge version RC, because it's bouncing, at least you get a juggle. If you go for crouch heavy slash though, that follow we just mentioned juggles a little bit, gives enough extra air, so you can go for Greed Sever and get the bounce after the fact as well, right? So you can actually get more combo ability. So at minimum, I can do something like this. Like, it is definitely too early for optimal combos, but like, you know, that seems decent enough. We have the DP, and this is like a proper uppercut invincible style move. And its interesting property is if you have the charge, or like if you either manually charge it or are doing it in a context of a greater string, is it becomes a wall bounce. So that's cool too, right? So like everything's getting new properties, everything just gets new stuff when you're doing it just along the chain. So she's all about doing the chain one way or another, from like slash slash or heavy slash heavy slash. And like we mentioned the projectile stuff, right? Like got the big beam, even like heavy slash has a projectile attached to it. So air dust is also a like proper projectile. It's angled in such a way like it's not quite the Akuma fireball, but don't worry, we do got that anyways, because just do quarter circle forward heavy slash and you get a more Akuma style fireball. And the air dust gives that charge property mechanic as well. So if we do dust into quarter circle forward, then we get an even bigger projectile. And naturally does more damage, knocks down. The regular version does not knock down, so it's a lot stronger that way. And we mentioned, you know, she's got so much from Kai, but Stun Dipper, Greed Sever. She's got some stuff from Dizzy as well. So she has a quarter circle backslash, and that's Michael Sword effectively. This is also a Justice move as well. And it's got some range. Like, this is a character with some, let's call it mid-screen presence, right? So this is also the only special that's not affected by the charge mechanic. So you cannot buff this. It's just kind of as is, which fair enough, because it has one specific use, and I think it's pretty all right at that one specific use. Good counterbait too, just because it gives a long enough knockdown just to go right into a quick beam. So that's nice. So just feels like a strong all-rounder. Like, has the DP. That's nice to have. The range on the buttons is pretty okay. Like, Stand Slash is not nothing to, you know, scoff at. But then again, you know, we got beam, you got air projectile, you got the fact that you can enhance both of these for, like, you know, bigger, better damage, range, frames, all that kind of stuff. I like the follow-up system just because it gives you like a lot more range to work with on a lot of your moves. Some non-standard things like the fact that Heavy Slash has an actual like legitimate projectile follow-up. It just plays around. Just stuff like crouch heavy slash is multi-hitting before you can go like whatever follow-up. When it comes to frames, Greed Sever is 21 frames, Stun Dipper is 16, so it's not exactly like string, gets low overhead immediately, but you still can delay the specials, like, so that is there. So like there's some elements of like Baby's first mix-up as well. When it comes to supers, the slash super is like very stock, which is fine. It's just like a reversal super. The heavy slash super, this is the reason I have my health low, right? Because it's like very big cinematic. You can see I have Kai's sword, I have my dizzy tail, and you can also press different buttons to do different moves while you're doing it. So you can create like combo structure almost like if you did like a dust launch, sort of, like not the same, but it's there. But yeah, this bad boy is low health only, and for good reason, does a lot of damage, and has the follow-up. So you can do like little quick follow-ups with extra hits after the fact. And then when you hit slash heavy slash together, you can burn the extra bar and get even more damage. So, you know, it's just good. It's just, like, she seems like a really solid character. Like, I'm not going to say top tier or not. I don't know. Way too early. This is day one. But she seems strong. And I mentioned we get 2 new stages. I love these stages. I love good, bright, clear stages. And both these stages are exactly that. But if we do a shift here for the stage, an important character shows up. Why, who is that right there? Why, it's Dr. Paradigm! You know, Guilty Gear lore fanatics. There you go. Old Dr. Paradigm is here. I think that's really cool. Like, obviously, not a playable character. Will never be a playable... Well, I don't know. We got to go a couple more seasons. We really got to start stretching the roster, maybe. I don't know. But probably will never be a playable character. But it's cool that he's in the background. I dig that, actually. But yeah, the stages are cool. They're nice. They're bright. They look good. They got like a big like Pokemon-looking dude on this stage here. So the stages are really nice. Everything's well done. So Unika definitely, like, you know, wannabe protagonist, wannabe Trunks. Like, but is seemingly like a strong all-rounder style character. A little bit of a zoning focus, I would say. But definitely daddy's daughter, right? Just because like the moveset is very clearly inspired by. So if you want another take on Kai, I guess, this is a pretty solid one with a sword slash gun slash motorcycle as weapon. It's a pretty cool way to do it. So yeah, Unika seems pretty fun. And I suggest go give her a spin yourself and see how you like her. And now that we got frame data in game, no more installing mods or going the dust loop or whatever. You can just like test stuff out for yourself, which is nice. It's so nice. Like, hey, Arxis, I don't know, you know, whenever your next game comes out, how about you just do the frame data from day one? You know, it'll save us a lot of trouble. It'll save us a lot of trouble. Anyways, though. So that's my day one first impressions of Unika. So far, thumbs up. I dig her. I think she's pretty cool. And that is it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Guilty Gear.